Alrighty guys, so welcome back. We are almost ready to get underway into the second match of the day. And because that game took a little bit of time, Infuse decided to not lose quickly. They decided to, just bide their time in the, the losses that they suffered. We can only really follow one game, which is going to be the follow-up game, which will be ASUS up against Fnatic. And I believe we are almost ready to get underway. So let me drop us into game so we can see that while they wait to get themselves into this. But Dogbert, you are still with me, I believe?
Yes, I did not leave, and yeah, this is going to be an interesting game. I mean,
at least I hope so.
On this map, this is being picked by RoG, so this is going to be interesting, because I've seen Fnatic on this map very recently, and they absolutely smashed their opponent. It was not pretty at all. Obviously, RoG must feel quite confident picking it out, but they have a very, very tall order right now. We're taking on basically, I wouldn't say a team basically tied, especially on points right now, for the best in the tournament.
Oh, most certainly. Currently they're leading the way, I believe, just above Epsilon. But we all saw what happened last time, so not much to be read into that, let's just say for now. This could all change into the finals as long as you're within that top sort of spot. And this will be the last load into the map. So if you guys are fairly new to this, chill out, Dogbert. All right, I know you know the rules.
Both on 175 tickets on points, sorry. So they're tied for first place.
All right, Dogbert, Mr. Research. See, this is why I don't normally cast with Dogbert, because he proves me wrong, and I hate him. But still, you've got to help the community at some point. We are almost ready to get underway. You can see the rules up there to the top right. I don't need to tell you about them, and I can also get away from the screen and get you in the server. So it will be ASUS starting on the US side. It will be the Russian side being Fnatic. So Too Easy, Drunks, the newer addition, Mort, Value, and Unfixed. And for ASUS, you saw them not too long ago. Hysteria, Vinch. Why his name is not Vince, I don't know. Prodig, Fenta instead of Fanta, and Intac. I like their names could almost be things. It's so close to actually being words. God damn it. And why this game? Because the other games took so long, this was the only option we particularly had left, but I like watching Fnatic. So take us through the initial starts here and what we can expect to see.
Well, I've seen Morty using a rocket launcher, and that's just usually to open up that C flag. I think that's exactly what he's been doing. Pretty much a standard push out from both teams, trying to get initial hold on to B, but Fnatic picking up the kill of the map, and that means that they can push on to C if they get the kills, and right now, man, they're getting them. That's 4 dead already for RoG, and Fnatic are prowling around that C flag, and this could be a trip cap very early on here.
It certainly could be, and the kills aren't stopping. The only real hope is the fact that ASUS are pushing around the backside of that B site to maybe be able to cause a little bit of trouble here, but there's still 3 players for the opposition not too far away, mostly focused towards C, but now with the alarm bells ringing of Hysteria getting himself over here, they might turn around and go for the challenge, but we'll have to wait and see. You can see the first couple of players just appearing. That's Value and Too Easy doing the damage, and these guys are so damn good at this game, and they have held on towards that B site. C still not in their hands, but we are seeing a push forming and starting from Too Easy. He does get shut down, but he's bought enough time to allow the likes of Mort to come through, who picks up one. Goes in towards the side, spots out another, gets the double, goes for the third. He's got the tag, he doesn't get the kill. But still, time is a big factor. He's allowed enough of time, enough time to pass to allow the rest of his teammates to just constantly apply pressure, if I can use words. And we are seeing a counter cap on A, but big start for Fnatic, Dogbert.
Yeah, good start for them, but at the same time, they need to clear up the C flag, and it is a 2-on-2 right now, and the French team doing what they can here. They are getting pretty much mowed down. It's only Prodig left, but this isn't too bad for them. And I say that, and then I looked at the tickets, and I decided probably I'm wrong there. And they're getting.
Well, I was going to say it, but
yeah, well, they're white now. That's it. So Fnatic off to a flying start here.
Yeah, most definitely. I don't, be mean and prove my co-casters wrong. I'm very supportive of them, and I never do things like that. But still. 2-1 hold. B and C are in the hands of Fnatic, and they're looking fairly comfortable. A is the last standing bastion for ASUS, who are even being held in place by the likes of Value, fairly pushed up there towards that east flank of that A side, as Value now gets a couple of tags with the nades, and he's not overly pushing, he's just holding the line, and that's exactly what he needs to do. Nice insight, expecting Prodig to push around the side on the flank, and they're pushing straight in for this one. B is the side that it looks like ASUS may have a bit of a foothold towards, but still, Oh, wow. Hysteria's got a chance to pick up C, and actually fairly uncontested. Did Fnatic overextend then?
Yeah, they definitely did. Morty, the only guy between B and C, he got pretty much sandwiched by the RoG guys, and they split up beautifully, took both flags undefended, and this is their chance really to actually start clawing some tickets back, because this C and B hold is a really, really good one, and you can already see Vanda trying to take that A flag as well, trying to look for their own domination cap, but this is only going to work if they can get the kills, and right now even that one on A just got shut down.
Yeah, indeed. But look at this Fnatic coming in with 3 big kills back to back. Valu and Mort just picking them up and dropping them down. They've opened up towards this B side. That will be converted over. But ASUS do manage to walk away with at least the C side, which is so desirable towards these teams most of the time. But you know, normally with a 2-1 hold beside it, Hysteria doing the damage, and they got a nice little bit of pincer move towards the C side. Sorry, excuse me, A side, with the likes of Vinch coming around the back. They've cleaned it up enough that they can push in now and actually start to pick this one up. But a little bit of fire coming through. Prodig isn't too far away, and he does manage to help out his teammate. But now Vinch is in a little bit of trouble. He was the last man alive within this squad. He does get a couple of respawns back onto him, so they will be able to at least pick up A for now. And you can see the likes of Drunks backing away a little bit, trying to get a little bit of a better position. Used to be Winghaven's position actually up here. Getting those spots out, getting that information just flooding through to his teammates. He's going to pick up the kill from the push from Intac, and now you can see he might just fancy the challenge, because already Valu, this seems a lot more like a setup for Fnatic. These guys don't take this as lightly anymore. Maybe a bit of a rude awakening from the last finals, but very well played out so far. Valu just being the monster that he can be, picking up 3 kills now, going for the 4th. He's going to get the 4th. Valu is just being a real beast, and it's going to give him the trip cap. Wow. Yeah,
Valutasia, whenever he comes prepared and just in the right position, he just gets kills, and you can just rely on him to always be a solid player. And yeah, he likes that position. He waited for 2 guys to walk by before he started shooting them, you know, picking his time perfectly and doing a great job there.
He did finally get taken down by Impact then, so maybe ASUS have a little bit of life left in them. They still have the C site. They challenged out on A. Didn't quite manage that one, but they do have a good couple of players over there, and there's only 1 man on the site. It was Drunks. Intact just about getting away with this. So they should get a nice 2-1. It is C and A, so not maybe the ideal setup, but they may be able to make it work. But Unfixed is eyeing up the A site now, but he's got a good shot towards either one that he goes for. Catches a glimpse of the first player, going to go for the nade, and it's a bit of a flat-out exchange there. Both players nading each other through, but Drunks was in support, so does come and try and help out his fallen teammate, but it's too little too late, and this 2-1 may help a little bit towards ASUS, but with 38 tickets left, I'm not sure how much this can really do.
Yeah, and they need to just be working to get this ticket lead down, rotate correctly, and hope Fnatic make some big mistakes here. And we've already seen it with Infused. I mean, big leads don't mean you're going to win, and that's
true.
Interesting spawn for Morty right underneath, and this is going to possibly open up this C flag if they want to take it. But either way, Fnatic here, they have the time. They just need to wait and get the kills.
Well, let's see if they can do it. ANC still in their hands, as you said, but oh, those nades coming through there. More, as you said, in a good spot, but too easy to decide. It was too good of a spot, so he's going to take it down for him, and now just Intact left towards his side, but fairly uncontested. He should be able to get the revives in for now. No real pressure immediately coming through. A quick flank from Unfixed did get found in the end, but Fnatic trying to dominate through the midsection, not really working out, but, you know, so much so that there's still 38 tickets up for grabs on the board, now 34. Fnatic looking a little bit out of place here. Maybe not expected this, but Valu working out where Intac was hiding. So that has opened up C just a touch, and it's too easy coming in as well. The nades may hold him back, but you can see Unfixed now joining Valu. They're going to start the push in towards the site. I believe that's Intac. No, it's Vinch on the side. He gets taken down. So this will be swinging over surely to Fnatic's favour. A now being heavily contested, but Fnatic do have the respawns.
Yeah, but the spawns are definitely not the one that RoG's want. They need to get somewhere closer to C and B, and that's why it's always clever to have a player who realises the fight's not going their way and just avoids it and gives them a better opportunity to jump on the flag, because if you start spawning outside of A like that, man, it's not easy to get back in. It's so easy to be caught in a one-on-one. It can just tie you down forever, and right now RoG really on their last legs here in this round. And they need to get this B flag and just whittle away on these tickets, because they could not let Fnatic take 87 for the next round.
Yeah, you don't want to give them an advantage in any form, but certainly not of that sort of magnitude. So we are seeing a bit of a counterplay from Fnatic as well. This is not going to help. C's going back in their hands. A bit of a last-ditch effort coming from Product there, making his way back towards the site, but Valor and Unfix between them doing the damage. He's going to get at least one, doesn't get the double, and this should be easily now going over towards Fnatic with a huge lead of tickets, 83 to be exact. I'm not sure if they can turn it around off the back of that, because that is a massive lead.
Yeah, Valutage are coming in pretty big, 20 for 8, and you know, Fnatic across the board were just getting kills and the wipes and really just controlling the game, and you know, RoG really just didn't get into that round at all.
No, they didn't. There was a little bit of a glimmer of hope at the start, but then as soon as Fnatic got into their kind of comfort zone, as we say, they just started to, you know, really extend that lead, and it was just that middle section of the game almost, just before, you know, Fnatic ran away with it completely. When, you know, Valley was holding that position, we saw Drunks doing the work as well. These guys seem very much regimented, and they're a team that maybe I expected that from on the likes of Locker, which was probably one of their more favourable maps back in the day, but you know, this looks like they've really worked on stuff after those last finals, because I, you know, had the pleasure of watching you guys, obviously, casting the games leading up to the moment, and I think everyone safely bet towards Fnatic, maybe Epsilon if you fancied it, and vice versa. But it was a real surprise to everyone who was there, and it looks like Fnatic haven't come away and just gone, oh, it was unlucky. It looks like they've worked on a couple of the issues they may have had.
Yeah, and I think that issue, and I know this is going to be like a dagger to your heart, might have been Winghaven. He really just wasn't performing as well as everyone else in the team.
Why would you say that?
And there had been talks of replacing him before the final. They didn't do it. I kind of feel they suffered for it slightly, but at the same time, I think they lost against Pyrogen, not because of individual players not living up to their potential, but because they just were already looking past Pyrogen. They didn't expect the fight they got, and they suffered for their, you know, taking a win for granted, really.
Yeah, and the one thing that really, really did surprise me was the fact that even Value didn't perform very well. They were all being okay.
They were shell-shocked.
Yeah.
That was the only way to describe how Fnatic were after that game.
Yeah, I've never seen Value play badly at an offline event, but he had his moments still, but it was certainly not to the normal caliber. But anyway, back in the game, it does seem as though Fnatic have got themselves into a nice position here. They are going to be up on the US side, so let's switch that around. So Fnatic going straight away in for C, going to look for the convert towards that B section as well. A nicer spawn maybe is too easy. Does find Hysteria. Couple of nades coming out for Unfix. He's going to try and clear out the backside of those tanks, push in, and well, there are a couple of players still around. It's Fenta, but he's going to be picked up as well by Drunks, and that should be a clean hold towards B now. But C is being pushed through. Mort does manage to find Hysteria. Hysteria's been a bit of a punching bag, it seems, for Fnatic at the moment, but they have finally got through. Hysteria does get revived, and C is now fully up for grabs for both teams, and Unfix comes ploughing in, goes for the flat-out exchange, but more players present from ASUS, so they should be getting a 2-1 in this, and maybe have a chance at swinging this one around a bit.
Yeah, it's a lot of tickets they got to take away from Fnatic here, but they need a complete and utter collapse from Fnatic right now. They need to channel that in a Pyrogen. They are a French team after all, so maybe not that difficult for them, but either way, they need some kind of miracle right now, because Fnatic, even though they do not have the bleed, they are setting up perfectly for quite a simple capture of this A flag by just overwhelming numbers, really. You can see that spawn coming in for RoG's pretty good one, but they need to be careful, very clever on this defense here, because they need to wait until Fnatic rotate away before they give away the position, but they don't. They go for a head-on fight, and I really think that favors Fnatic, and we'll have to wait and see how it works out, but really, Fnatic are already looking to sneak a push onto C.
And you summed it up perfectly. The numbers game was never in their favour, and even the 1v1 seemed to always go Fnatic's way in these sort of situations. Fender's in a good spot. He's going to pick up the slightly more pushed out Unfixed, but still, it does not give them the A site. You've seen Intact once again just going head first into Fnatic, and it may have worked against Infused. It won't work against these boys, as they have managed to once again retain this for now. It's going to be Value capping that one back over. It's going to be a triple cap coming out. B, maybe a little bit of a secondary pickup for these guys, but it's still not looking too good. It's a little bit of a sloppy game from ASUS. They look a little bit outplayed in this, I've got to say it.
Yeah, definitely, but a lot of teams get outplayed by Fnatic, so they don't have to feel exactly... it's not like they're alone in this, so...
no.
Yeah, it's not looking pretty for them, and this is their map pick as well, so really does not look good for them, and Fnatic really just holding down flags, being quite patient on a lot of their captures as well. They're not taking it for granted. They seem to be just pushing quite slowly and just getting the picks, and as soon as they get a pick, they get the flag. It's really just solid play right now.
Yeah, and you know, previously, I hate to say it, they were the team that'd go aggressive. They would be the team that overextended and they would get caught out. But this time, as you mentioned, they seem to be adapting and changing through. We are seeing B up in the air, but that's going to be counter-capped and re-secured by Fnatic. ASUS is struggling to find any route in here. They're being triple-capped wherever they go. They're being challenged on every angle. Hysteria and Prodigy now looking towards A as maybe a bit of a easier pickup, but there's still at least, you know, a good couple of players on this site. Mort is here. He gets picked up through the fence. Value now, the only real player on here, goes to the Fnatic exchange and he gets it. That's going to stay in Fnatic's hands. 83 tickets is the bare minimum that we can see ASUS drop towards, and that's not far off now.
No, they're falling to it quite quickly, and I kind of feel that they've already given up. I mean, Fnatic just so much of a ticket lead in the first round really makes it almost impossible to come back, and it must be quite like a psychological blow to Nova, and I think they're already thinking about the next map.
Yeah, and I don't blame them. There's a ticket threshold does go just below where it was meant to be for ASUS, and it's now garbage time pretty much. I'll leave you guys in game so you can see them having a little bit of a wander around and you can see the setups there are. And the Ace 23 does seem to be firmly in favour. I think I only see one AEK, and that's with Vinch if I'm not mistaken. It might be a couple of others. Actually, it's ASUS going for more of the switch up as Fnatic just seems to stick to what they know, which is not a bad thing really. And yeah, as you said, a lot of gun changes coming through. If you guys at home aren't truly aware of, you know, the rule set or what we play with here, do head over to ESL-1.com and look through the Battlefield section there, because there's a lot of articles on it and a lot of content that will help you guys out. So, first map does go quite drastically into Fnatic's hands. That's not the start I can imagine that ASUS wanted after, you know, a very hard Fallout game up against Infused in the very first round they had. Now let's bear in mind, ASUS have never made it past the second round. They've had to face off against Epsilon before when they got to the second round, and now they have Fnatic. But this is not necessarily a problem, but it's the thing within Battlefield at the moment that, you know, in a lot of other games you can go, okay, there's these two teams that will always get through to the finals, let's say, or even the one team that we can always safely bet will get there. Whether it be, you know, originally in CSGO, it was, okay, NIP, then it eventually became NIB and Titan. Now it's kind of opened up eventually. But Battlefield from the very start has a brilliant selection of very good teams who can compete at a very high level. So making it through to the third round, which is basically the quarterfinals, is actually quite impressive. It's not an easy feat. So any upcoming team who makes it there has had to genuinely beat someone who could win an event, which a lot of these guys will not let them get to on especially a best of 3. That's the big difference in that one. It's not an easy feat to do against some of the world's best. So let's dive back into game. But you know, you're obviously looking after one of the better Battlefield teams. Obviously Dignitas, not as good as others. I'm just going to put that out there. Still slightly lacking, but you know, they try.
They've had some roster changes recently.
Okay, how's it looking? Because I haven't actually casted them yet. So,
well, we have Judetsky and Marsu kind of taking a back seat. Judetsky cannot play at the LAN finals because he has his exams. Therefore, he has decided to step back for a bit. But our new replacements are Sneaky, who used to play for UMAV. Which is now the defunct team, who's been cannibalized once again by Epsilon, and Frantic from Yorkie, who has probably rejoined and left Dignitas more times than probably any other player I can care to think of. And yeah, actually really solid player. I've casted a few games that they've been in so far, and you know, I think that they're looking pretty good right now.
Hopefully I look forward to seeing them in the next couple of games. I did want to actually sit in on their game coming up here, but obviously with our game running so, let's say, late into the first matches, there was no chance for that. But no, it's always good to kind of keep on board with these teams who do come out and, you know, have these changes going through. That's why, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, don't watch Fnatic. It's like, but I do want to see how Drunks is doing in this lineup. Winghaven has been, you know, a Foundry member within the team for a long time, so yeah, it does make a big bit of difference. But we are live into the second map. Obviously going on to Dam now. First map does go to Fnatic. And I've always thought this is quite a good map for Fnatic as well. I wouldn't say this is a bad map at all. I've seen the way they can play this B site, use it as that pivoting point, and generally works quite well. So what are your thoughts towards this one, and how's the start gone for both of these sides?
Right now, looking pretty good for Fnatic. I hate this map so much, but it's a one. It's just whoever gets a hold on B originally really does come away the victor. And right now, that could be RoG, as they just get a good wipe on Fnatic, and they just opened up with a very, very strong start here. Probably not aware that Fnatic spawn would be right behind there. They probably expected to be a bit closer to maybe the top right of the map, top left, sorry. But, you know, they're playing very aggressive here, and I think they're probably going to suffer through the trip cap if they're not very careful.
Yeah, indeed. And right now we're seeing Fnatic turning over towards A, and we are seeing them pushing in now towards our B side. C's already in their hands. Value and Too Easy in conjunction, taking down the likes of Hysteria, pushing in towards that cap one, getting the rise in, and there's that triple cap, as you said. And was it the overextending that cost them that? Because they had a great start. They did have the better sites. They had the 2-1, but did they kind of take that a little bit for granted?
They got insanely greedy and tried to push that C flag where they already had the A and the B. They didn't need to do that. They weren't even sure where Fnatic spawns were. They didn't know where the pressure was coming. They went out and attacked into the darkness, got wiped, and, well, they get a trip cap for their efforts. And this is when Fnatic really just punish teams for ever making mistakes like that, because Fnatic extend leads like this whenever they can.
Most definitely. And the thing that I always look at when it comes to, oh my word, Mort. Mort is literally a one-man army right now. He finally doesn't get taken down by the nade. Second doesn't connect either. He's just literally being the Terminator. Finally does get taken out in the end by Fender's nade. But the thing I was going to say was the fact that Fnatic can generally win these 1v1s. So even, you know, in a 1v2, they win these situations. Therefore, you know, normally when you have a trip cap, you may have a side that has one player against 3 of the opponents. You know, the one player from Fnatic generally can do that obscenely ridiculous stuff where they pick up, you know, 2 or 3 kills because they're just so well placed and they do have support further back. But this 2-1 hold has already chipped away so much, or even with that trip cap in tow, you know, so much away from the you know, the ASUS side that they're really in trouble quite early on at 92 to 131. Fnatic are in a good position, and I kind of feel bad for ASUS because they're not playing a bad game, but it seems that they kind of I don't know. As you said, they just walked into darkness. They didn't get the information. They seem almost nervous in this. They seem kind of scattered compared to how they played, let's say, Infused.
Yeah, definitely. Well, even then, Infused were punishing them quite severely, and right now that was a big mistake for them to leave out, especially when they had the A/B hold. That could have been an easy 30 to 50 tickets if they'd held it correctly, and they messed up, and they just got trip capped and wiped, and man, how do you recover from this?
2 triple caps that haven't been just back to back, it's been worked triple caps. That is painful for even just for me to watch. And they're kind of going for a bit of a split between C and B. Hysteria is making his way through in towards that office section, trying to maybe get a couple of respawns towards him, maybe take over the site, as it has been fairly undefended. C will be staying in the hands of Fnatic, A as well, and B will be maybe the starting point for the likes of ASUS, but I feel as though it's starting to be a little bit too little too late, as Fnatic are making the counterplay towards B. They have taken over. Mort now left with a lot of opposition to deal with. Nades coming through already. He's still got a lot of health here. He takes down Prodig, gets the med pack down. Drunks in support from afar. Drunks and Unfixed coming in to clear up the mess, but the respawns have come through. Fenta holds on, and this is going to be a big brawl towards this side, but at the moment it looks like Fnatic are winning this one out, and they could be going back to another trip cap if they clean the last couple of players off this flag, and right now they're in the perfect position to do so. Drunks just coming with a big clear up onto Intact, onto Prodig, and claiming the site. Triple cap coming through, bad spawn.
Trip cap city, something that Fnatic like to talk about, and Drunks really has just been on fire recently. He held down a 3-man push alone at B, then went to C, got the capture, did get killed but got revived, and then went to A and got more kills. The guy's on fire right now. Very impressed by his performance today, and as I say that, he gets killed and so does the rest of Fnatic, but this is the only chance that they're going to get. With 15 tickets remaining, this is the only chance they're really going to get in this round, and they need to make the most of it. And if you dig in correctly, you can do it, but it's just not easy.
Yeah, and I do want to point out, it's generally been Fenta doing the real damage. Looking at the scoreboard, 11 to 10, everyone's barely making it above 6, and I think that even ASUS know that. Unfixed just toying with them around the back. They do have the 2-1 hold, but we've seen how good Fnatic can be when they just swarm these sites. They just overpower the opponents, and right now Drunk's pushing in. He's looking like he wants to get this one started. He gets picked up in the end, but look, the rest of Fnatic straight away in. They're not waiting around, not messing about here. Nade comes out, trying to clear out that office area, remove the cover that maybe holding them back. And at the moment, we are seeing, you know, ASUS making a stand, but 10 tickets is not a lot. A 2-to-1 hold is not going to help. And we know that these guys can just convert on any of these sites. But a good wipe coming in from ASUS, they can hold on to B for now, but I just don't see it happening. When the snipers in play, I think they know this game is over.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's not impossible that next round, if they get the initial wipe, that they can't do a repeat performance of what Fnatic's just done to them. It's all down to how many tickets they can take off here, and if they can win the initial fight in the next round. And right now, they can do this. They've got trick cap here. It's all about playing smart right now. They need to either get a wipe here on Fnatic, and they are going for that right now, or they play smart and avoid these fights.
Well, I am not sure about playing smart. They're trying to do it. Unfix did get a kill, but they've held on towards A. 4 tickets left for them. Too easy and Co. picking up their loss and sticking with it on towards C, but still, 2-to-1 hold is just about enough, but any sort of convert, any respawns are now going to hurt these guys, so any death you see coming in for ASUS is going to make a big impact. But any tickets they can work away is huge, bearing in mind, oh, wow, Fenta. Fenta is doing such damage. This guy is a big player. I've barely seen this man before, but he's certainly doing the work against Fnatic. A couple of kills coming in, but he's got the revive there. They're holding on towards B, and Fnatic, they're losing out on this massive ticket lead that they built up. 3 tickets left, and every revive they get is just going to make it worse. But Hysteria goes for a push. I don't know why. B is now being swarmed by Fnatic. Drunks piles in, but the kills coming in round the back, and this is not looking good. This should be another convert coming in for Fnatic, and I think this will be the final kind of scoreline we see here, but that's a big difference from at least 100 tickets down to 62. So, as you said, anything can happen. You know, the second half could turn it either way.
Yeah, and it all comes down now. 62 tickets, right? In a game 150, but this is Lankan Dam we're talking about here. A map where a 2-hold, especially on A and B or C and B, can pretty much give you 130, 140 tickets, especially if you can hold correctly. So it's not that impossible for RoG to do it. If there's any map you can come back from this kind of deficit, it's on Dam. But it's all about the initial clash, and they need to win it decisively.
And I have to give credit where it's due. Fenta did impress me before, and he's doing it again. Hysteria was playing well, but this man just stepped the hell up. 15 to 14, and he was doing that before they turned it. He was about the only player actually landing those shots initially. But Fnatic, every single player playing very well, and that's something we kind of learned to expect by now, but it is still very impressive. And I hate the argument that I have to have with some, you know, let's say, public players, so these guys are actually very good at this game, because the spec client doesn't always let you see how good they are. Let's say it's been drastically improved from before, but still, you know, a lot of the action these guys do you may miss. But as we know by now, Battlefield's not just about the 1v1s, it is about that team play element, which we are certainly seeing here, and certainly seeing Fnatic look very much on point with that. But as you said, Dam holds a lot of ability to turn it around. So yeah, ASUS, they've got to have a tough struggle in their hands now, and as you said, it comes down to the start. With the spawns they're going to have, where do they go for?
It's all about B. They need the B flag, and I think Fnatic are going to know that, and they might. I mean, Fnatic's position, you can put someone out in the courtyard and try and catch a few as they come into the C flag. I see that quite regularly. You just tag them up a little, you know, force them to throw med packs down, force them to at least pause before going to the B, give them the initial cap there. But what Fnatic want, get in there, get in their office, set up a nice little defense, and try and pick off RoG coming in. But when you're talking about Fnatic, you're talking about teams that likes to, you know, buck the unorthodox strategies and throw them out a bit, and that's what they like to do. So I wouldn't be surprised with the ticket lead they have to try something drastically different here. But for RoG, they need that B flag, and they need it quick.
Well, they are getting shot up on that cross. The information has bled now through towards Fnatic, but you can see the two players splitting off around the side, but Fnatic beating them to the punch as Drunks has made it. Their first fire comes in, but it's been won out by Hysteria, taking him down. Now, can Hysteria do any more damage? Fender's picked up the mantle, taking down Value, and B looks like he could be going ASUS's way at the moment. Nades coming out, they're forcing back the players from Fnatic, but the respawns coming in are not going to help. Unfix there, Drunks there, too easy as well. All nading in. A and C being split between these two teams. 2 players for ASUS in here. They're going to cap this one over for now, but they need to clear this site out. There is a lot of presence from Fnatic just waiting to get involved here.
And you see these fights drag on quite a bit at B, and that's understandable. And they need to at least clear this up. And right now it's only too easy left there, but you can see Fnatic already going for that C flag. They got the kill, and there's a one-on-one. It goes Fnatic's way at A, and that bleed is straight back. against Rod. Not good for them at all.
No, indeed, and 62 is the magic number for them. That is the number they're going to desperately try and avoid by staying above it. Fnatic, well, they're going to be overwhelmed surely on towards the A side. Fender has gone down, though. These nades have connected. Morton too easy doing the damage, and, well, Vinch now has to go pretty big. We know he's done it before. He's cleaned out sites like this, but he comes around the back. Oh, he's got one, doesn't get the follow-up, sadly. Valutaja does what he does best, picking up the kills when it matters, and we're going to have a triple cap for Fnatic. This is just going to hurt the opponents. They've got the horrible spawn all the way around the back by B. Can they do anything with this?
No, they need to get into B, kill runs, get that flag taken over, and then push onto seal A, but they don't have that much time to work with, and they need to do this quickly here. And though they're getting the kills, and they're getting the flags, you can just see Fnatic know it, and they're just trying to slow them down as long as possible while setting up defenses on both that C and A flag. It's a containment at best.
It is, and Unfix now catching the glimpse of two players coming over towards the site. He's been defending. His team is now challenging down on towards B, and maybe is a little bit of a counterplay from ASUS, trying to draw more attention towards C than was necessary, as only Hysteria really pushing. The exchange is going down towards B, just Value really left. This triple cap still stands, and every single ticket just pouring away from ASUS is hurting them so badly here. As a player, even Hysteria did get picked up on C, and another far, far back spawn coming in for RoG, and I'm already seeing, a couple of interesting weapons of choice coming out. We are seeing a connection, at least for some, but still, this looks like a last-ditch effort almost for these guys, and it's not even the tickets that are doing it, it's the fact that, oh, these knife kills at least are going in their favor, as Drunks did just get absolutely slaughtered, but still, 86 tickets. They need to get a triple cap or do something phenomenal, because it's almost running down too late for them to turn it here.
Yeah, and Drums getting knifed is always going to put a smile on my face, I won't lie. But I think that's the only victory they're going to get right now, because Fnatic are absolutely just bullying them off these flags, and man, I don't know what else they can do. They're not going to get much of it. They're retreating. They're running away from Fnatic right now. They're running back.
Are you making French jokes?
Sole flag here. No, you are. But either way, that's going to be it. There's nothing they can do right now.
Yeah, 67 tickets, as 62 is the threshold. Dogbot hates the French people. It's terrible to see a man in a professional cast with this attitude. But ASUS, their backs are to the wall. They're trying out on this B side, but with Hysteria running this sort of setup, I don't think it's quite going to work, as the tickets are now getting too close for comfort. Any respawn will lose in this game. And, well, I've got to say it, Fnatic look pretty damn dominant. They do have the 2-1 hold, but as I said, one single kill will push them over the edge if they actually take the respawn off it. And Fnatic, well aware of this, actually down to 4 players on that ticket threshold. So, was it 62, or am I going mad?
I thought it was 61, but I guess we might have been wrong.
No, I think Fnatic are suddenly realizing Fnatic are reacting a little bit too early, and now all the respawns coming in. Even ASUS kind of forgot that one, so yeah, nice little bit of mind tricks kind of from Fnatic. Like, we'll pretend that we've left the server. I think they've given them a chance, and wow, both teams unable to count. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful, but still, the tickets will be dropping below as it's a 2-1. There's 60. That is below both of our probably poor guesses of what the previous marker was. But ASUS, I don't blame them for kind of being out of the game at the end of the day then, and not completely focused, because it was a bit of a slaughter. I've got to say it. Yeah,
and it's what happens when you come up against. Well, put it this way: if RoG had been able to win this game, it would have been basically like winning this cup anyway, because they would have been taking out one of the best teams in the game. So to be the best, you got to beat the best, and it's back to the drawing board for RoG for a bit.
It certainly is, and obviously a Dignitas man saying that, you know it's going to be true. So guys, we're going to be back with another game just after the break. Dogbot will still be with us unless he leaves me, because I've been so mean to him. But guys, do stay tuned. We've got another game coming your way. Hopefully not all of them have started yet, so we don't have to follow Fnatic through. That was quite a quick game on the second map. But guys, we'll be back in 5. Do stay tuned, and do make sure you head over towards the sites and check out all the content there for all the Battlefield stuff, which is ESL-1.com. Simple as that. We'll be back in 5.